Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Discard Dead, where we like to open up and look at dead and out of print trading card games. Today we have a box of the Cut-Ups Project, an expansion of the On the Edge trading card game, released by Atlas Games in 1995. Set in the same world as the Over the Edge role-playing game, players step into the role of shadowy members of the highest echelons of movers and shakers in the small Mediterranean island country of Al-Hamaha. Resources are extremely limited on Al-Hamaha, and your goals may very well run opposed by other members, secretive and puppeteering. So this box has 60 packs, each with 10 cards, for a total of 600 cards. Also, there are no rare cards per se, although with the way the uncommon cards were printed, a different number of each card appearing a number of times on the same sheet. Some cards with only one instance on a sheet could be considered maybe by some to be rares, but there's no specific slot in a pack for such a card. Speaking of printing, there are 90 cards in the set. A number of cards had variations in the text breaks and line spacings when it went to print. So including all of these, there are actually 133 cards in all, with some of these cards having 3 or 4 of these print variations. Let's jump in. To be honest, I've got to admit, this is pretty daunting. I've never opened a box with this many packs before. We're going to see a heck of a lot of duplication. I'm thinking what I might actually do is I might split the box and do 30 packs now and 30 packs in another video. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 24, 25, 26, 27, 29, 30. I think that's going to be the sanest way I could possibly do this, just to cut it in half. Otherwise it would be crazy. It'd be such a long video and I think I'd go mad by the end of it. Okay, 30 packs of On the Edge, the Cut-Ups. Let's just jump into it. So like I said, there are, hang on. Control addicts beware, the On the Edge collectible trading card game is about to be invaded, so you can read that, by the Cut-Ups Project. 90 new cards that turn Al-Hamaha's conspiratorial scene on its ear. Talking dogs, sinister coffee, and raining walrus are just some part of the madness. Break away from the duped and narcoticized masses and embrace the chaos. Yes, please. I have not seen any of these cards in person. I've only seen a few visual images and I've read the rule book a couple of times, so I know a little bit about the cards themselves, but heck, let's just get into it. So we've got Coatless Code is an environmental card. William Kia is a shady antiques dealer. Fall of the Wall is a whammy card. So if I'm correct in what I read, the first 3 cards should be the uncommons and the rest should be commons. So we've got Isil Zia, who's a cipher. Robert Doc Cross, a real person, honest. I'm looking forward to these talking dogs. Oil Pan Annie is a flaky tinkerer. Audrey Itzulak is an inner conspiracy liaison. Rising Fanaticism is another environmental card. Abbas Najafi is a rationalist astrologer. And Really Quite Angry Kid is a hyper-real techie. That's a nice card back. It's actually a contracted image of the base set booster box. We've got Messiah is a surrealist sculptor. Deific Aura is a condition, and Jacob Brinker is a father of weirdness. We've got Evan McDonald as a deluded debunker. The Centipede, a pulp vigilante. Closest Surrealist is a resource. A Really Quite Angry Kid, Hyperreal Techie. Abbas Najafi is a rationalist astrologer. Protoplankton is a big massive goo. And Antonella Fulci, a mystical tune fan. I think I'm gonna skip over the little subtitles they got there. I'm just gonna read out the card names instead. So, Eunice Ray Hopner, Ideological Polarization, and Oliver Demolaron, Unattainable Desire, Unified Conspiracy Theory, The Dimension of Nearest, Newtonian Slam, Matti Altonen, Evan McDonald, and Duped and Narcoticized Masses. Hey, we just read about those. Giblets Granbury, Oliver Demolaron, and Serhi Steck, Stairway to Nowhere, Rising Fanaticism, John Isidore, C.A. Radford, Emma O'Tillery, Chaos Chancer, and Sub-Random Subversion. I think what I'm going to do is I'll go through the names on all of these cards for this video, and the next time I do my second half, I'm just going to go for the uncommons. I think because we're going to see a lot of duplication. Series deck. Ooh, a secret card. The Truth About Control Addiction. That's cool. Eunice Ray Hopner, Stairway to Nowhere, Robert Doc Cross, Sub-Random Subversion, Fractal Infection. That's funky. Oil Pan Annie, Unified Conspiracy Theory, and Duped and Narcoticized Masses. Mary Ola Kirby, Stasis Accumulator, and Coatless Code. Fractal Infection, C.A. Radford, Unattainable Desire, Zamila Kielminski, Klaus Brinker, Matti Altonen, and Brown Shirt. Just a simple brown shirt, dude. I love these kind of packs. So nostalgic. Malak Souzier, Jacob Brinker, Quantum Squeezer, C.A. Radford, Emma O'Tillery, Zamila Kielminski, C.A. Radford. Whoa, okay. Yeah, 2 different C.A. Radfords. So that's not what I'm talking about with the, when I say the print run. That's just a different card altogether. Brown Shirts, Klaus Brinker, and John Isidore. Excuse me. Oh, I'll try and edit that out. Anatoly Taghiel, Akio Morimoto, Undeserved Power, Audrey Itzulak, Brown Shirt, Klaus Brinker, Unattainable Desire, John Isidore, Stairway to Nowhere, and Matti Altonen. Coatless Code, Pythagorean Convulsion, wow, Giblets Granbury. We've got Matti Altonen, Claude Lucien Riviere, a Brown Shirt, Stairway to Nowhere, Rising Fanaticism, Chaos Chancer, and John Isidore. Dear. So, like I said, I've never touched any of these kinds of cards before. Never even gone anywhere near the game. But if anybody has, I would love to hear about it. I'd love to hear about your funky tales. Apocalypse Morehouse, Cheap Baboon Trick, and Deep Pockets. John Isidore, C.A. Radford, Isil Zia, Unified Conspiracy Theory, Duped and Narcoticized Masses, Chaos Chance, and Sub-Random Subversion. Okay, so we've pretty much seen all of those now. Mrs. Brinker, cool. Paralytic Paralytic Banana. That's rad. C.A. Radford, the third version. Protoplankton. Jamila Kilminski, C.A. Radford, Newtonian Slam, Brown Shirt, Klaus Brinker, and Claude Lucien Riviere. So yeah, this came out very, very closely after Magic the Gathering, and there are a lot of aspects in the game which are incredibly similar. Series deck, Kofi Ogunlala, Jeroen Brinker, maybe Mrs. Brinker's great-grandfather, Newtonian Slam, Zamila Kilminski, Evan McDonald, Duped and Narcoticized Masses, Claude Lucien Riviere, Brown Shirt, and Closet Surrealists. So one thing which is one aspect in this game which is what most people what most people can see the similarities to Magic. William Keir, Eyeballs Drillbit, that is a rad name, Eyeballs Drillbit. Fall of the Wall, Antonella Falchi, Newtonian Slam, Brown Shirt, Stairway to Nowhere, C.A. Radford, Dimension of the Nearest, Claude Lucien Riviere. The concept of having a resource card, which is used to bring other cards into play. It is a staple mechanic in a lot of games in that era. Magic the Gathering was pretty much the first real big trading card game, as most of you know, I'm sure. C.A. Radford, the fourth. Death Car, Personal Copier. Duped and Narcoticized Masses, Claude Lucien Riviere, Closet Surrealist, The Centipede, Chaos Chancer, Unified Conspiracy Theory, and The Dimension of the Nearest. But one thing which is vastly different to Magic is that gameplay. So creatures in Magic, you can have as many of those as your table can fit, and even more. Anoop Varma, another secret, the deal with sub-randomness, and Horror's Count. C.A. Radford, Undertale Desire, Vesna Jiffy, Protoplankton, Zamila Kilminski, Klaus Breaker, and Marty Altonen. Whereas in this game, you can only place your character cards on a 3x3 grid, which is called your conspiracy. Your conspiracy being your what a conspiracy is. Lies, secret operatives, moving in the shadows, twisting thoughts. Giblets Granbury, Deep Pockets, and Emmanuel Kamitz. Emma Artillery, Antonella Falchi, Protoplankton, Unified Conspiracy Theory, The Dimension of the Nearest, Newtonian Slam, and Evan McDonald. So that the 9x9 grid makes it puts a great strategic element in the way you build your deck, which blatant scam. I don't know, that looks like the real deal to me. Recursive Time Loop, Censorship Flap. Okay, so those are 3 new cards that we haven't seen before. Newtonian Slam, Dimension of the Nearest, Claude Lucien Riviere, Audrey Istenilak, Closet Surrealist, Really Quite Angry Kid, haven't seen him for a while, and Fractal Infection. That is such a rad card. Also, getting back to deck building. So in Magic the Gathering, and most other card games, you have a limit as to what you can put in there. Not in this. You could have 40 Malak Suziers in your deck if you wanted to. You couldn't play it because you wouldn't be able to play her. This up here is her cost. Let's go over the character card for a second. So we have the name of the character up here. We've got the tags or titles. We've got how much pull is required to bring this character into play. Pull is the name given to the mana equivalent for this game. Here we have the character's attack power, their defense power, and this little dash here, she hasn't got it, but other characters have the ability to actually generate pull. Malak Suzier, Sacrificial Bloodbath, that's cool. and Quantum Squeezer. I'm gonna skip all these because we've seen them all now. Yeah, so some characters can actually generate pull for themselves, by themselves, to bring other cards into play. For example, XL Quitlong can generate one pull by himself, which is great. Characters that can generate their own mana or spending resource are quite powerful, because that will let you obviously bring out more and more bigger, more powerful characters. Life Imitates Art and Mercia. A majority of characters can't actually generate pull, but the ones who can are very useful. And then of course, you've got, so going over all of that, and then of course you've got the traits of the character. For example, Malaxuzia is a human Throckmorton psychic control. Human being what she is. Throckmorton, I'm not too sure. I think it's one of the many affiliations that a character can belong to. She's a psychic, which is probably why she has all these telepathy testing icons. And she's a controller. Jacob Brinker and Pythagorean Convulsion. I'm going to go over the rest of these in just a moment after I get through this other, I think 10 packs through now. Ceres Deck, Kofi Ogunlala, got it, and Undeserved Power. A bit of that going around. CA Red for Dimension of Nearest, Oilpan Annie, Isil Zia, Unified Conspiracy Theory, Duped and Narcoticized Masses, and a brown shirt. I'll move some of these back over here for a bit. So Emmanuel Kamitz, Personnel Copier, and Jacob Brinker. Do we have any new ones? No. So I think at this point we've pretty much seen all the commons. So I'm just going to go to the uncommons. So we've got Jero and Brinker, Stasis Accumulator, and Secret of the Cut-Ups, another secret. Alright, this is much easier. Paralytic Banana. Still love that card. Deep Pockets and Death Car. That's great. I like the artwork in this game. It's really weird. There are so many different styles of art that's been plastered into this. Like this sort of what's that called? I can't even think of it. Now. Caricatures. There's cool old school mid-90s computer generated stuff. This one looks like it's just been pencil sketched. Some really cool paintings. Yeah, a great mix and match. This one looks like it was done by a highly skilled high school artist, maybe in year 8 or year 9. Undeserved Power, Personal Copier, Mary Olakabai. Sorry, Laura Cabral. I really do actually like this artwork. Don't take me wrong. Yuzo Chen, Cheat Baboon Trick, and Mrs. Brinker. Okay, Fall of a Wall, Akio Morimoto, and Emmanuel Kamitz. Let's see, Anatoly Takiel, Undeserved Power, XL Quitlong, Uncommons. I keep thinking I've seen something new that I haven't seen before, but I haven't. Series deck, copyright violation. Actually, I think that's new. Anu Pavama. Yeah. And finally, last pack of this first half of this box. Akio Morimoto, Reign of Walrus, there it is. And Personnel Copier. I don't think we saw any Talking Dogs or Crazy Coffee. That's a bummer. But that's okay. Alright. So now that we've gone over half the box, I'm going to go over some of the different card types and what they kind of do. So I've touched over on the character type cards. Let's see if I can find some of the other ones. We've got whammies, we've got gear, we've got conditions. Let's see. Environmental cards and secrets. Actually, there's one more type of cards that we haven't found yet. And that is a resource. Sorry, my camera's a bit off kilter at the moment. Okay, I think everyone can see that. Okay, so first of all, let's go over the whammies. Whammies are sort of like one-off effects that can be played at any time. They can do a bunch of different stuff, and they don't cost anything. They don't cost anything, so you can just... Like I said, there's no limitations to what you can put in your deck, so you could literally have 40 whammies in your deck and just play them over and over and over again. I think I read that a bunch of people did try doing that, but only sort of like troll decks. They were kicked out immediately. Let's go to gear. So gear, in case you couldn't tell, these are the tools and weapons that are assigned and attached to characters to sort of boost them up, give them abilities, or give them the edge in battle. Excuse the pun. Conditions, these are assigned to other cards, similarly to gear, but can benefit either your characters or they can debilitate your opponent's character depending on the card itself. We've got environmental cards. Environmental cards have effects that can affect the whole game. They are not just limited to your conspiracy or your opponents. They can affect everybody. So for example, Deep Pockets. Costs 2. Players gain additional pull by subtracting an equal number from their influence scores. The result may be a negative influence total. Resource cards. Resources can generate pull. As I mentioned before, pull is the resource value that can be used to pay for other cards, bring them into play. But they can't generate influence. Influence is what you need to win the game. So in terms of, say for example in Magic the Gathering, you start with 20 life, and the object of the game is to get your opponent down to 0. In this, you start with 0 and you're trying to build your influence up to a specific predetermined number. And it's whoever can start their turn with that much influence wins. So resources, important cards. And finally, secrets. So secrets can give you... secrets are sort of weird. They affect conspiracies in different ways depending on what cards you have in your 3x3 grid. Yeah, I can't give you very much information on those ones because it's a secret. Anyway, that is going to be it for now. Thank you for going through 30 packs of the Cut-Ups project with me. Stick around for the next video where I will drag you through the other 30 packs. Alright, thank you very much and have a good evening. Bye.